Hey guys, so we decided to break this video up into two videos. The first one is my review on the Faster Way to Fat Loss program, and here I'm going to be answering your questions. You guys sent me a lot of them on Instagram, and I wanted to make sure that I got to them all. Some of these answers may be redundant if you already watched my review of the Faster Way to Fat Loss program. So let's get started. The first question I'm going to answer is because a lot of you asked the same one, and it is, did your milk supply lower? So I purposefully waited to start this program until I was 6 months postpartum because then I was starting to introduce solids to Connor, and gradually he would decrease the amount of milk that he needed. So to be honest, I don't actually know if it lowered my supply. I don't pump a lot. I'm home with Connor. He is not into bottles, and I pretty much just go off of how full my boobs feel and how much Connor drinks. And, you know, if I constantly felt like I didn't have enough, then I would think that my supply did lower, but I never really felt that way, maybe a couple times, but overall I didn't. The whole thing about this program, though, is that if you were up all night nursing and you're starving in the morning, like I was today, you can eat. It's not like somebody's, not holding your hands behind your back. I had breakfast this morning at 9:30. Connor was up a lot. I was really tired, and in order to power through and film these videos, I was like, I need to eat breakfast. So I did. That being said, I would not do this program if you're exclusively breastfeeding before 6 months, because I think that it has the potential to cause a decrease in your milk supply. But the one thing about this program that even if you are before then, that would help you not lose some of your milk, is that you're not drastically decreasing the amount of calories that you're consuming. To find out how many calories I was consuming, I used the MyFitnessPal algorithm. I said my weight, I said my activity levels, I said I was active, and I said that I only wanted to lose half a pound a week. And I ended up losing about a pound a week. So even though I said I wanted to lose a half a pound, I did lose a pound. And the reason for that was to basically compensate for the extra calories that I'm burning due to breastfeeding. Second question I'm going to answer is from Miles and Mimosas, and I love this question. Time commitment wise, could I still reasonably train for races while doing this program? If that race is a 5K or maybe a 10K, then yes. Anything above that, I would say no. This question from Latch Morgan that I love, it said, where did you slack and still see results? You guys follow me on Instagram probably. You saw that I was drinking wine. So right there, I slacked. In the beginning, I was putting my wine into my macros. And as you saw in the previous video, I really found it hard to continue to keep track of my macros. So in the end, I didn't, but I didn't necessarily give up my wine. So I followed the fitness portion to a T. I did not slack on that. I really did that really well. For the most part, I waited until noon to eat. I did find it hard often to stop eating at 8 o'clock, mainly because Tommy goes to bed pretty much at 8, and sometimes I wouldn't have time to cook dinner before he went to bed, so I would have to eat afterwards, or I was shoveling food in my mouth at 7:30, trying to be done at 8, and then realizing I was below my macros and still hungry, and so I knew I had food that I could eat. I knew I was hungry, but because my time window was closing, I extended it. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do a 16-8 split. You can do a 12-12. That means you eat for 12 hours and you fast for 12 hours. Are you really fasting if you stop eating at 8 p.m. at night and you eat breakfast at 8 a.m.? Another question asked, there are two questions. Is it a plant-based program? I'm vegan and would love to try it. And someone else asked how hard it was to follow as a vegan. So it's not necessarily hard to do as a vegan. However, you do have to be educated enough to know where to get those plant sources for protein. So if you're not into protein powder, you're probably gonna be eating some protein powder. I found it really hard to hit my macros, meaning my protein goal, when I would try to eat vegan for a day. That was a struggle for me. That being said, I ate more carbs during this program than I was used to. So, you can go ahead, you can eat your rice, your quinoa, your beans, your, starchy carbs. You just have to be smart. You're going to have some tofu probably. You're going to probably have to have some sort of plant-based protein powder. You can't just get all of your protein from, legumes, beans, lentils. Maybe you could. I found that I had a hard time doing it because I found that sources that I was using for protein before when I would eat like a vegan, peanut butter, nuts, and those other things that I said, they also come with a lot of fats. So it would make me go over my fat limit when I was counting my macros. So you can definitely do it as a vegan, but you're gonna have to definitely consume some lean sources of protein to hit your macro goals. Another question that I've gotten from a lot of people is that they work out at 5 to 6 a.m. or they work out at 6 a.m. and they're asking if they still have to fast until noon. The answer is no. You get to pick your window during which you eat. So you could do 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's a 16-8 split. You also could just do a 14-10 split where you eat during 10 hours of the day and you fast during 14. Connor agrees. And you could even do a 12-12 split. So if you are an early morning person, you work out in the morning, I would say don't wait until noon. You're going to be miserable. I would eat sooner, but if you're waking up that early, you're probably going to bed sooner. So you could stop eating earlier than 8 o'clock. The biggest differences between faster way to fat loss and keto and paleo. There is the keto and paleo are a diet. You are saying, no, I'm not going to eat dairy. I'm not going to eat gluten. I'm not going to eat sugar. Faster way to fat loss doesn't do that. They don't have any foods that are off limits. You can eat whatever you want as long as they fit in your macros. Depending on what coach you use, they may have different recommendations for foods to avoid. My coach recommended avoiding dairy and gluten. I decided to avoid dairy, but I still kept in gluten here and there in my diet. A lot of you guys asked, is it worth the money and how much is it? The program is $199. Compared to some other programs online, you may find it to be a little bit more. However, I would recommend doing it with a coach and not doing a corporate round, because if you do it with a coach, you're going to get one-on-one access to somebody who knows what they're doing. If you were to do it with me, I'm a personal trainer. I'm there to answer your questions. Personal trainers are expensive. You're getting a fitness program for all 6 weeks. And then plus you add in your coach, it's basically getting someone to personalize it for you and help you. Basically, it's like $33 a week to do this program. So for $33 a week, you're going to get a weekly fitness program. You're going to get accountability. You're going to get someone that's going to help you making correct diet choices to reach your goals. You're also going to be learning lifelong tools that you're going to be able to use moving forward that are helpfully going to help you maintain this new weight loss that you've achieved. And the thing that I really liked about this program is that, it's not rigid. You don't have to necessarily, once you stop the program, you don't have to necessarily do intermittent fasting every single day. Maybe you just do it during the week, and on the weekends you are more lax and you go and get brunch with your family, whatever. But I do think that for some people, it is worth it. Like I said earlier, I am not a one-size-fits-all model type person. I think that this program is going to really work for some people and they're going to love it. And I think it's not for everybody. For me, it really worked with my lifestyle. Being a mom, I'm busy in the morning. I don't have a lot going on. If I didn't have time for breakfast, that was fine. And then I found that it gave me really laser focus in the morning to get all my work done. So it worked for me and it was worth it for me. I learned about carb cycling. I learned how to tap into those fat stores and I felt like I looked great. I had more energy and I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the experience. So those are some of the questions. I kind of just mentioned it, but I think I am going to be a coach for the Faster Way to Fat Loss program. So if you're thinking about signing up, I would love to have you guys sign up in my first round. More details coming soon. And if you're interested in signing up right away, I do have links down below. And I welcome all feedback, positive and negative. I will see you guys soon.